All right, this is part 2 of the political forecast. We left off with the elements that could be challenging for the Trump-Vance side, and we had the Seven of Cups coming out with the Sword of Truth. So I think that we're going to see any type of secrets revealed here. Sometimes the sword can be also the sword of victory, but here we have the Seven of Cups is coming through with the illusion and delusion and narratives, disinformation. All that glitters is not gold. Look beyond the clouds, money improvements. So it looks like we're talking about promises not kept. And the Ace of Swords in this deck reads frustrations, double-edged sword, hollow victory. So he may win a few mini victories, but I think overall the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. Under the deck here, we do have the Empress. Delays will prove necessary. We just literally talked about delays and how that is part of his strategy, that he's being patient because he understands that there are going to be voting complications and red tape that have been created in multiple states. And so we're looking here that if he can delay it, then he can sow seeds of doubt. So very interesting, but I would say that the Empress card underneath, and reminder for those that are just tuning into this, check the first one out first. It's got all the information. I'm not going to repeat it all. This deck is being utilized for things that are challenging, and here I would suggest that this Empress card looks a little bit more like his opponent. I hope that you can see that. From my view, it does not look visible, but it looks a little more like Kamala Harris to me. So anything further with the complications coming through? We'll take those two. This one is the World. Overseas trip, money, luck, world in the palm of your hand, and new opportunities. Very interesting. And Five of Pentacles, delays, again, around money, coming in from the cold. So a few things coming through with those two things. Under the deck, we have Three of Cups, celebrations, bright happenings. So we have a little bit of a celebration coming through on this side, but delays coming in from the cold. It's an interesting combination. I think that the world is going to be watching this one in great detail. And we're also talking recently, there's been a new scandal unveiled just within the last few days of this broadcast, but there's also investigations into the money coming in supporting some of the Trump family members' endeavors from overseas to the tune of, I think, 157 million so far that they've found out about. And so some of this information, all of this delay and doubt and his handling of money versus, like, he's merchandised quite a bit versus actually going out and campaigning or actually creating policy. He's creating merchandise and rebranding the flag and things like that, where on the other side here we have sorting out money confusion, really laying out some ideas for shifting and changing some things, rebalancing the financial burden to pay our own share, for an instance. And we have this undecided voter and the powerful woman vote coming in over here. So yes, this frustrations and double-edged swords and hollow victory on the case for Trump, as well as like all of the unknowns and the immunity proceedings and all of this information isn't going to make a bit of difference to a huge percentage of his base. So he's not going to lose a bunch of face with the individuals that, for whatever reason, that's sort of what they're into. But I think that the deciding votes are going to come through with many of these undecided and female votes here. So anything further here, oh, I'm not, yeah, moving along. Anything further between in the center of this about the potentials coming forward in the coming phase? We have King of Cups, man over 25 years, possibly with blue eyes, fair or brown hair. Says gentle, emotional, and shy. So all the words may not resonate, but at first glance, that would appear to be somebody such as Trump in the Anglo way, having an emotional shyness, not speaking with Chariot underneath. And remember, we have Chariot here referring to Kamala Harris, discipline and determination. This one says movement of residence, journey, victory over situation or problem, balancing the opposite polarities. So sometimes I think too, he gets in a lot of trouble when he opens his mouth. So maybe him saying nothing in a moment will be the best use of action. But I mean, I'm also getting just a little bit about if he does not win our election this time, is he ultimately going to hang up his hat or try for a different position? Or will we see him going overseas and connecting with other opportunities on the global stage? Because he seems to be more of a salesman than a politician and a leader, but that's possibly just my opinion. So we may see him getting emotional and going someplace else for one reason or another. Anything else for the middle? We have the Chariot coming out yet again with the number 2, the High Priestess. So that's interesting. So the High Priestess, highest card in the tarot deck, very powerful, good or bad, secrets to be revealed, like we just said. And I apologize for not knowing this, but is the judge that is hearing his immunity trial a female judge? I cannot recall. I'll look that up. But here it almost looks as though the momentum, that the cat's literally out of the bag with these 2 sphinxes coming here, the black and white details coming forward, and that somebody will be moving house, balancing polarities. Yeah, highest card in the deck, powerful, good or bad secrets to be revealed. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Interesting, a woman over 25, blue eyes, fair or brown hair, soft, gentle, motherly. I don't know if that would describe, it could be any number of individuals, but I do believe that in the moment we will see this as women stepping forward, speaking up, and this could also be any number of individuals that are speaking out, speaking their secrets in court. I think that there are a lot of secrets that are still caught up in this that we haven't been made privy to. So hold on to your hats, folks. This might be quite the adventure. So let's see, what can the vice versa tarot deck tell us about the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign here? Anything further? This deck may be quite quiet today. Let's stop there. We have this Empress card here and the 3 of Swords, which is interesting. That one was on the other side, but on the bottom of the deck when I pulled it up. So it looks as though to me that this masculine is out in the cold with the Heartbreak card, the back of his shield. And we've got the blue depiction. I don't know if my hand's in the way. The blue flower. I mean, it could talk about the blue wave. And then we've got this Empress card here, the Empress sitting on her throne. The Priestess is here. She's our own, well, the Priestess and the World card were the only major arcana coming out in that secondary deck just now. And then Harris received the Star and the Chariot, where Trump received only the Hanged Man for his major arcana. So he may be hung out to dry, and she may be coming in with the Chariot that we keep seeing. Momentum, change of residence, moving into perhaps the White House, bringing forward that information from that liminal space as the High Priestess. Placing a High Priestess on the throne could mean incredible shifts and changes in this world. So let's see, anything further for Harris Waltz before we move forward? Okay, we have a few cards here showing. First one that pops out is the Eight of Pentacles, a father hard at work at his craft in a humble environment. His son looks on, learning the craft, and this is him envisioning his enterprise on this side that's shown, where back here it's like he's already produced that. Here we're seeing him envision. I'm seeing again some of those promising campaign promises coming through on this side, where it's like the child credit and also the business startup loan and whatever else is going through. I apologize, I haven't really researched a bunch of the details. I just know the basics here, but it's not for me to be a political advertisement. Under here we also have the Five of Pentacles with a man hanging his head with the Five of Pentacles there. Now he's inside the church after we got the Five of Pentacles on his side earlier here on the Trump side. And also, you know, with the World on his side as well, the World is often closure, closing a cycle, completing something. So, but he does receive luck there. So either way, he's comes out smelling like a rose, perhaps. So we'll see. And then on the other side, we have this Four of Swords. I hate to make this prediction. I am only saying this because it came through twice. We had the potential here of having a transition of an individual that may come to end of life, and here we have this sleeping elderly man, and it is completely possible on the quantum level that Biden could pass away while he is still sitting as president, and Kamala could become president as her vice president allows before the election even goes on. Now that's only 30 some days away, so that's a bit of a stretch. So I wasn't going to say anything, but you know, it's out there. Or one of the sitting judges could be the one that could potentially transition, to be gentle with that. Something intentionally happening. I'm seeing the moon again. Oh, and this is interesting because we have that eagle depiction again, this victimized by the eagle. This could absolutely, because we had the eagle depiction over here, talk about a victim stepping forward in the justice system. And then we have this juggler here, somebody who's playing the odds, and the Chariot coming forward again with a feminine rider in this deck. So that's about 3 hits for the feminine Chariot moving forward and moving resonance. And here we have new plans for the future, new mountains to climb with the Page of Pentacles. So that's interesting over there. Now let's get a couple cards here for the Trump Vance side. Any final thoughts from Spirit? Information, anything else that we need to see? I like it when they pop out on their own. All right, here we go. That's quite the stack. So here we have, again with the blonde female, the light fair female, opening the lion's mouth and looking down the lion's mouth, perhaps. I feel the energy of the priestess, like also the idea of Lady Justice, the perhaps the judge individual or the prosecutor individual looking down the predator's throat to say, you know, we know what you ate or something. And then we've got this exposed head hanging masculine again. So the cards that popped out, this might just tell a story here on this side. We've got the back of the Queen of Wands, but she's looking at this feminine statuesque depiction. I think that the woman vote is going to absolutely turn the tides and turn their backs on him and create a lot of noise around the exposures. And I think that they're going to sway a lot of undecided voters, but they're looking with this goddess imagery, which, you know, we've got that false idol imagery already came through a little bit recently. It can depict either side depending on how you see it, because politicians be politicking. You know, I'll be the first one to say. Five of Swords, yet again, individuals walking away from another individual. So there's people jumping ship. And here we have a feminine with a beat up masculine trying to come home from somewhere here. That's an interesting depiction in this context. I'm getting a little bit that I don't want to necessarily share, but it feels like it's creating controversy within the home, between generations, parents, children, friends, family, and between spouses as well, here with differing opinions, because somebody has been beat up here. And then we also have the front side of the Three of Swords, and now we have the red flower just torn apart in shreds here in the mist and the cold rain again. So we've seen both sides of that card now. So it's definitely looking like heartbreak for the red. Now we have the Hanged Man showing back up again. It's like your hands are tied. You've already made your bed. Ooh, and then we have the Devil, the backside of the Devil. So that shows the liberation perhaps, or secrecy of the victims being hidden from public view, but also the book being burned. So perhaps like the rule book or the ruling or obscure details. We also have the Hermit, the backside. He's got to go and look for some new vistas, probably himself, because I think he's going to be moving overseas. There's that Five of Wands. So we've got Five of Swords twice and Five of Wands. It's a lot of chaos. Oh, and you know, with the Jan 6, isn't that also on trial as well? Anyways, some more information about that, or is there going to be a peaceful transfer of power this time? That remains to be seen. I think that there's going to be bulked up protection in any event. Then we have the Eight of Swords, this lightning transfer of information and quick paced. And then we've got this Pegasus. I think that we've also got various individuals of different groups represented here, and information about that coming forward, people stepping forward in the movement. But yeah, this information I think is going to travel very quickly, the information that's going to be released, and it's going to create a bunch of infighting within his base as well, which is interesting. Then we've got the Four of Wands, frolicking. Yeah, more details about the perhaps the sexual exploits here and his addictions and attachments to the off color and the disrespectful here, the reproductive rights. Something perhaps also about the celebration end of things, like why are they celebrating the delay? I'm not really sure. And then we've got the victory parade coming out on this side, which is interesting, because it shows the celebration of the win, but it's a very fiery sky. And we've got this 10 of Wands happening here where it's a huge burden. And we've got that statue of the masculine behind him, the whipping boss, the whipping boy. Yeah, I think that the hard laborer class is going to see something that they don't agree with, and this may turn a few heads, feeling like they've done a lot for the campaign and, you know, carrying that heavy burden. I think that I think it's feeling oppressive, the weight of the support there. And this may, with the solar eclipse and the revelation that's to come here, I think that we're going to see quite a few individuals finally admitting that they misunderstood something, or that the information speaks for itself, and a lot of swords in that coffin. And so he will be disarmed with that armor coming off here. And then we have the Page of Pentacles from this deck as well. So the Page of Pentacles coming forward with something of value, some type of material thing. And so I think that that's going to be with this cornucopia, which looks like a trumpet to me. I think that we're going to see that as the information and the truth stepping forward on this side. So I'd like to get a couple from the Akashic Tarot. The first one we're seeing is the Ark of the Covenant. And I think here we're talking about the constitutional rights and protecting the integrity of a nation and our secrets as well. That one wanted to flip, I'll take it. So also, like, the espionage is also being looked into as well. I mean, do we really want somebody who could potentially be a spy in a position like this? One who's kind of petulant toddler at times, very reactionary, not very realistic, trying to put tariffs on. That's a direct tax on the consumer. The economics don't back it up. He's not calm, collected, graceful. He's very spontaneous and impetuous, and to our detriment. And so what he says is possibly going to be so electrifying and perhaps very xenophobic. It could be anything. It could be against the women as well, because we've got the women really stepping forward powerfully. And I think, too, we might see Epstein's name and possibly the guest list from Epstein. I mean, that could come out. And I bet you he's on it because he's got the plane. The divine physician is stepping forward, which is the depiction of Jesus with the Ark of the Covenant. Is like protecting the integrity of humans and the integrity of the will of the people. And under the deck with that, we have loving elementals, 3 of Roses, 3 of Cups, and with the protection of the rights of children, of parents, of individuals that have health emergencies and so on. Protecting the choice of individuals to heal in their own way. Yeah. Supposedly, I'm not even going to go there. Let's not. So the karmic trench here and Sangha, community, 8 of Roses. That's a beautiful combination. 4 to the 8. Intellect to the heart and the emotion to the love of joining together here. So getting out of a karmic pattern, perhaps of old patriarchal ideas and regressive thought patterns, and moving forward into healing, Christed consciousness, unity consciousness, not false idols and fake Christian beliefs and then pushing that on others, but actually belief in the power of a diverse community where everybody has a place, everybody has a contribution, everybody has a voice and a choice. Yes, protecting the integrity of the people. Okay, so on the Harris Waltz side, what do we have from here? If we have any Ascended Masters to speak or angels, we've got Uriel and the Sphinx with Adsum. Very nice. Number 21 and 22 in a row. That's interesting. So Uriel, I believe she's the goddess, the angel, she, he, the androgynous angel, I think, of the earth and of the earthly realm. And here with the Sphinx, we're talking about the sacred mysteries, our connection to our cosmology and to our mysterious nature, origins, and getting back to the mystery and the magic versus control, domination, and relinquishing our personal rights. So we're talking about, it's been a bit of a confusing battle, but Uriel is speaking about being present and saying that individuals here are going to be showing up and supporting the rights and the efforts of our foremothers and forefathers who have spoken up for equality, diversity, and inclusion. And we don't need to fear those words. They aren't 4 letters. All beings deserve and have the innate, born-in right to exist and to survive and thrive. And the more that individuals are demonizing that, I think the more it's going to play into the side of love, because that's where the divine spark is at. So we have 6 of Roses, the War of the Roses. I kind of felt this. Yeah, it's dividing, the politics are dividing families and loved ones and have been for quite a while. It's really brought out the vulnerable underbelly of the American systems and populace. And with that we have, interesting, 8 of Scrolls, Paths Unknown. Somebody, I think that's that undecided voter, or individuals who may be looking for a third party. I'll tell you, I did that once, and unfortunately, as much as I wish it weren't true, a third party vote might be where your heart needs to go, but a third party vote, you might as well not vote, because it's throwing your vote away, because right now, unfortunately, we're a 2-party system in America. I mean, it just is facts. If we go back and reappropriate the political information and stop the gerrymandering and things like that, maybe it's possible. But with the electorate and the electoral college, you're never going to get a third party in there unless everybody's already trending that way, and they're not. So just saying. 16, Caught in the Ruins. I believe that you need to decide for yourself who you're showing up for. And it looks like many individuals are sick of the fighting, sick of the drama, sick of the lies. And they're ready to climb back out of the trenches, the karmic trenches, and see the light of day and uplift things once again. So let's get some cards over for the Trump and the Vance side. Let's not take so many. Few, concise message. What can we say over here with Trump and Vance? Any Ascended Masters, Angels, or so on that want to speak? Show yourself and your cards. Take that. Okay, I've got two in my hand, the Queen of Forces and the King of Keys, with the Akashic Library on the bottom. Interesting combination. So the Akashic Library, I think that there's something quite karmic, and it's creating a huge impulse and push to create a huge amount of generational ancestral healing in the American populace. And in the moment, I don't know if this will come true or not, but another idea that is stepping forward is I do believe that in the coming phases, it might be appropriate to connect with another party that might emerge with Native American, First Peoples, indigenous cultures that can step forward and gain a huge amount of the vote that has been split between the better of two political parties. And so that's just the Akashic Library says that there's a lot of karma working out on this side. We've got Queen of Forces, King of Keys. I think that this is talking about one candidate versus another, night and day, but I'm not sure exactly where we want to go with that. Let's see, we're at the end of this one. A few more coming out. We've got the Scribe. Somebody who's taken notes or worked for Trump may be stepping forward with more information as well, trying to count the votes and do the delegate thing here. Queen of Scrolls, reading the tallying, the teleprompter, the reporting that's happening in light of that. Somebody's reading the information coming through the coming exposure too, reading that. And then come with King of Roses. Interesting. So we've got the King of Roses at the beginning here too, and under that with reflection. I think that there's a softening that needs to happen and an inner reflection that needs to happen on this side. And maybe part of the miracle that's working through on a karmic level is going to actually be that there will be some type of evidence of shift in the campaign on that side where Trump is perhaps humbled, perhaps able to admit a defeat. I mean, some can still say that there's victory possible on that side. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm calling it for Kamala at this point. We have the number 10 here. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness during all of this? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Things are in right order. Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectations, leading and not trying to control,